We're driving a 2021 Genesis GV80. It's kind of like a mid-size SUV competitor with like the BMW X5, Mercedes-Benz GLE, that sort of thing. Coming up, I'm going to tell you a feature that proves that my daughter is the most powerful occupant in this vehicle. But first, information explosion! Let's kick things off. Interior. What do you think of the interior of the GV80, sweetie?
Are they aiming towards a more mature buyer?
Ooh, that is probably the exact opposite of what they were hoping to hear. What makes you think it's mature?
I can actually read all the controls.
I remember getting to a Camry and it's like, wow, look at all this big print. I would say don't hold legibility against Genesis just yet.
Texture, there is so much wonderful texture to this interior. You just want to touch it all.
You do want to touch it all. It's like the After Dark version of Pokemon. Yeah. I'm really sorry it took that turn. You know what I'm not sorry about though? Full throttle acceleration. It was needless. Should we go fast? Let's go fast. Whee!
Whoa!
Yo! You're right though, there's a lot of interesting texture and it's a unified motif. So there's all this like little lights knurling, and as you touch around, drive selector, the infotainment thing, it's everywhere. And I really love when there's a clear aesthetic, and there is definitely a clear aesthetic. In this case, you've got some open pore wood, you've got metal bits. I'm almost tempted to describe it as sumptuous. Is that going a bridge too far?
Oh, that is accurate description, yes.
Let's talk about family friendliness. In terms of space, I can easily sit behind myself, and I like the adjustable seats. You can really lean that second row seat back a great distance. Did you know there's a third row available in this one? My understanding is it's fairly tight, but you know, for emergency child usage, that might be something worth considering. How about getting our daughter in and out?
It's a teensy bit high, but she seemed to climb right in.
So is that a metric teensy or is that imperial teensy?
It's an imperious teensy.
One feature I think is very family friendly is that the rear seats have a 40-20-40 split. If you grew up in a household where you had one other sibling, to maintain peace, you have to have a demilitarized zone between left and right children, and you can put the 20 down in the middle, and then it's like, hey, this is dead man's land. No one goes here. But you can also use it as a pass-through, like if you had skis or something like that. It was long and you wanted to have it. Hey, somebody's got a Land Rover Defender. Hold those GV80 thoughts. I'm gonna go look at this Defender. It's a good looking vehicle. They got the little ladder and everything. Oh, that's fun. The guy who's driving it did not look pleased, but I'm sure he's smiling on the inside. Back on task, cargo space I think is pretty good, but one thing I noticed is that the lift-over height is very high. Unless you're just ripped like me, you know, lifting heavy objects.
And who else is?
Yeah, I know. It might be difficult to get things into. I like how you're looking up and down my body to verify whether or not my claim was accurate. It's not.
Perhaps I was just enjoying the view, baby.
Yeah, ooh, okay, yeah, drink it all in. So what do we think? Family friendly?
Family friendly.
Family friendly. She burped. It's okay, you're excused. I'll also mention that the front seats are highly adjustable and lumbar support more than adequate.
Like they hold you, but they're not too intrusive.
Like an ideal lover. Rear window test. Is that it? Oh, high five anyway. Armrest test. I'm driving in an 8 and 4. This is my standard cruise position. The armrests are roughly even height. The stitching on the edge is a little lightly abrasive, but it's not terrible. I guess my one complaint would be that there's a hard ridge on the very edge of both of the armrests, which kind of forces you inboard a little bit. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I'm saying it's workable. I'm going to give that kind of a 3/4 up position, thereabouts. Hey, have you subscribed to Micah Drives? If you haven't, please do. At 100,000 subs, I'm going to review a windowless white van. Style! What did you say the first time you saw the GV80?
That's a lot.
You're not wrong. However, you have to consider the context and think about who is Genesis. Genesis is the luxury division of Hyundai, and right now they're going up against a rich German heritage of luxury. One way you can establish yourself as a proper luxury mark is through style. And one of the things I think they've done so well is establish a very clear brand style. You can like it, you can dislike it, but you cannot ignore it. Don't you dare ignore that GV80. It won't be ignored. It's like basic instinct. What is your basic instinct telling you?
It is making a big swing, which I like. The element on the side that you really appreciate, I don't like it, and I think it's because it reminds me of an add-on aftermarket piece.
If you're looking at straight broadside,
yes,
then you just see that element. It's like, why is that there? Because it looks like there's no context around why it exists. If you look to the front three-quarter, then it's like, oh, that's the continuation of a theme, and then it continues around to the back. So by itself, it makes no sense. Kind of like if you were just like looking at this part of my face. I don't understand what she sees in him. Oh yeah, I guess I kind of get it now. What do you guys think of the GV80? Tell us in the comments. And if you'd like to see what we're driving or flying between YouTube videos, go ahead and give us a follow over on Instagram. Well, me, I do the car and helicopter stuff. If you're curious what the Muzio family is up to, give Evie a follow.
Warning, the Muzio family also includes cat pictures.
Oh yeah, do you like cats? I hope so. In motion! We're driving the 3.5 liter, and what's special about it is it has an adaptive suspension. And what's great about it, it's got this really cool thing called road preview. It's got a camera, and the camera looks at the road ahead. And then it adjusts the suspension to better accommodate those bumps, making a smoother ride.
That's impressive technology.
I know! We drove to pick this up in a Jeep Gladiator, so I'll be honest, everything feels smooth right now, but ride quality is quite nice. And I would say road noise and wind noise is pretty well subdued in here too. This would be a good long distance cruiser. Putting that 3.5 liter to the test, a little needless full throttle acceleration. Whee! Fairly prompt reactions from the transmission. Pretty good pull. Feels nice. Sounds pretty good too. The GV80 is based on a rear-wheel drive platform, and it does have fun potential. I think if you put some stickier tires on here, that you could probably go have some good nasty cornering fun. I don't know why I said it like that. Let's go into this tunnel and hide my shame. Emerging from my shame tunnel, the ride. Man, I wish we had access to the shame tunnel. I would use that thing all the time. Dynamically, I think the GV80 does a nice balance between having a sense of athleticism and also impeccable over-the-road comfort. I like how it drives, but how do you like how it drives? Sweetie's driving. So you have any first thoughts?
The pedal feels like weirdly lightweight.
Which pedal? Accelerator or brake?
The accelerator. Squishier than I expected.
We have a squishy pedal situation, everybody. Look out. I see you're leaning forward a little bit.
I probably should have adjusted my seat.
Would you like to stop? You can just stop.
Brakes feel nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a little better.
A little better. Okay. You can try the engine start-stop. The engine is off right now. Let's see how smooth it restarts.
Ooh.
Is that okay?
Yeah, like it was lightly audible, but that felt very smooth to me.
So from the driver's position, can you see out? Do you feel like you got a good view now?
Yes, now I can see out. I don't know about over lefty though.
There's a kind of a thick B-pillar here, but that's increasingly common. It's kind of hard to call out any specific vehicle because of a thick B-pillar, even though I still do, because they're all kind of thick. When you turn out here, tell me how light the steering wheel is. Does it feel light?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now as you get going faster,
whee!
How's that steering wheel feel now?
Ooh, tight. Light and tight.
Light and tight. So there are two things happening here, which is interesting. One is they adjust the effort. So at slow speeds, it's very, very light, but they also adjust the ratio. The power steering rack has a variable ratio. So it takes fewer turns to go lock to lock at slower speeds, and at higher speeds, it's a slower ratio, so it's just more stable. I think it's almost a little bit too heavy at higher speeds, but as you drive around, you don't need to know about any of that technical stuff. All you need to know is that when you make
it has a nice rack.
It has a nice rack. When you take a right turn here.
Oh gosh.
See, this is what happens when you make boob jokes. Is you can't. See, now you're
car.
You're upsetting the vehicle. Oh, sweetie. But as you make a right turn, gentle, slow right turn here.
Okay.
Easy with those little sweetie arms. Pretty easy, right? Yes. Oh, you know what? Let's really put it to the test. Come in here and make a U-turn. Well, I would have gone a little bit further, but
that would have been a good idea.
But that worked out okay, right? You were able to kind of make the turn. Not too bad, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, and how are the brakes?
Backpack
Great
test.
brakes.
Great.
Yeah, the backpack test totally passed.
Yeah, once I got that seat adjustment, I don't like this pillar, but as you said, that's pretty common.
Yeah, when you flip this car later, you'll be happy it's there. All in all, I think there's a lot to like about driving the GV80. It has a sense of solidity. It feels properly luxurious when you're driving it. One last emotion thought. Sweetie, how do you like driving in this car?
I like it because we get to drive fast.
That's a good reason to buy a nice elite luxury SUV.
And because it's a nice place for my toy to play her guitar.
Very nice.
Do you have a toy with a guitar that would like to play it? Buy a GV80. If you'd like early access to Micah Drives or Micah Flies videos, go ahead and give me a follow over on Patreon. We have some nice perks over there. Oh, what's the next thing? Emotion factor. Jeepers, I talk too much. Sweetie, you take this. What's the emotion factor of the GV80?
Luxury.
Luxury. Luxury is definitely an emotion. Yes, I think there's a strong emotion factor here. And you don't have to have that emotion factor coupled with quite as much guilt for the price you pay for it.
Oh, it's like why the Girl Scouts sell cookies, because you can indulge in what you want and also feel good about it.
If I already didn't have an impeccable synopsis, it would be the Girl Scout cookie of luxury SUVs. That's good. Hold on to that one for the next time. But yeah, very Girl Scout cookie-ish. If you're feeling emotionally moved to buy a GV80 of your own, click the Kelley Blue Book listing link in the description below. Remarks! At the beginning of the video, I teased that I was going to tell you how there's a feature in here that proves that our daughter is the most powerful occupant. Sweetie, look on the left side of your seat. Higher, higher. There you go. Those are controls so the rear seat passenger can move the front seat out of the way if they feel like having more legroom.
Oh my.
If she had longer arms, she could utilize those powers and move you the out of her way. Thank you, Sensi. Boop! Oh no! Now mommy's moving up! Okay, we had our fun. You can move your seat back now.
Okay.
I told you that we're driving the 3.5 liter V6 twin turbocharged, but there's also a 4-cylinder base engine. Future Evie is now putting stats on the screen. Oh yeah, all right, yeah, okay. I think for modern Micah, that 4-cylinder engine would be just fine, but you know, the press fleet always has to have the fancy vehicles, and what am I gonna deny them? No, it's the V6, take it back. Even though the V6 is obviously more powerful, both engines can tow 6,000 pounds, and they both require premium fuel, so if you don't have a premium fuel budget, don't buy this luxury SUV. Got a weird remark for you. In the cargo area, the wheel humps are asymmetrical. One is lower than the other.
How?
I don't know how that, I don't know
Why?
why. It's baffling. Yeah, that's just a weird remark. Watching the gauge cluster.
Ooh, I like that.
It's kind of like Honda's Lane Watch, except put in a place where you're actually looking, which is pretty darn cool. But one of the grandest features of the GV80 is its super strong value. So base price is right around $49,000. That's about $10,000 cheaper than a base BMW X5.
Wow.
The X5 is a little bit more powerful, but for my mind, unless you really need that badge or there's some aspect of the X5 that you find super compelling, I don't know, I'd definitely be inclined to buy something more along the lines of the GV80. Another competitor would also be like the Volvo XC90 or the new upcoming Acura MDX will probably be a little bit cheaper than this, and that's a pretty compelling SUV alternative as well. That base price includes all sorts of things like proximity key, keyless lift gate, ventilated seats on all but the absolute base trim. Every single GV80 has heated seats in the front. 10 airbags. In fact, there's an airbag somewhere in the middle here. I don't know exactly where it is, but somewhere.
Sounds like you're trying to utilize it.
I didn't push the turn signal hard enough. There's also a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. There's a rear seat alert, and it's not just the one where it detects how many times you open the doors or whatever and lets you know. There's actually a sensor in here that determines if something's moving back there. So that can warn you if you've left somebody in the back seat. Children are people now. Who knew? This has a rear exit alert. So if a vehicle is approaching from behind and somebody goes to open the door in the back, it'll let you know, oh no, and it can even prevent you from opening the door if a car is coming up quickly. So that's a really nice safety feature if you love your children. You may or may not. But you do. Oh, okay, you do?
I do.
Oh, great. Well, then you'll love that feature. One other standard feature is this. That's a 14.5-inch screen, and it's such an interesting orientation because it's very long.
It is.
It's like the Slender Man of infotainment systems. And by having that really thin orientation, it doesn't block your view out, but it can be very high. So it's in your field of view without blocking your field of view. And yet it's a ton of screen space. I think it's a really great setup that they've got there. It's also a touchscreen, but touching it requires a really far forward lean, especially if you're working on the right side of the screen. So for the driver, you'll probably just wind up using this little jog wheel here. And normally I hate these things, but this actually works pretty darn well. And it's knurled. Look, we got knurling. Another standard feature that all GV80s have is full speed dynamic cruise control. Okay, we have dynamic cruise control activated. Lane keep assist is working. I'm just gonna take my hands right here. We're ably steering around the corner. If you'd like your GV80 with rear wheel drive because you want to be an SUV drift king or something like that, you can only get that if you get the base engine. If you get the more powerful engine, they all come with all-wheel drive. And then in the base 4-cylinder engine, if you want to add all-wheel drive, it's like a almost $6,000 jump in price, but it also comes with a bunch of other features. Did we miss any remarks? If so, please tell us in the comments section. Synopsis! Baby, I gotta give it to you. Your Girl Scout synopsis was pretty great, but I've got a better one. To me, Genesis GV80 is a little like the areas in and around Lake Arrowhead, California. They're lovely, nice to look at, and almost suspiciously inexpensive. I don't know how that works, but for some reason it does. If you have a better synopsis, go ahead and leave it in the comments. If you'd like to see what we're doing between YouTube videos, give us a follow over on Instagram. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, subscribe. And if you'd like to see less of these videos, please shuffle along. I think that was a pretty great video, guys. Sweetie, can I have a high five?
Yep.
Yeah, you?
Oh yeah.
And you too. Come get your high five. Yay!
Good job.